They call us heroes now. They put our war on the money and in the schoolbooks. But I was there, in the bush, and I want to tell you what it was really like. Before the songs, before the statues. When it was just us and the fear and the gun. I was 17 when I left. I was not brave. I was angry. I had watched my father made small in his own country, his land taken, his vote worthless, called boy by a man half his age. Something in a young man breaks when he sees that. Mine broke into a decision. The comrades came through our village at night. They spoke of a Zimbabwe that would belong to us. They sang, and the songs went into your chest and stayed there. When they left before dawn, 3 of us boys went with them. I did not say goodbye to my mother. I could not have borne her face. We walked for days to the border, moving at night, sleeping in the bush by day. We crossed into Mozambique, into the camps where the struggle was made, Chimoyo. Thousands of us, boys and girls from every corner of home, all of us now soldiers of a war that had not yet given us a gun. The training broke the child in me and built a fighter in its place. We drilled before the sun. We learned the rifle until it was part of the arm. We learned to go without food, without sleep, without complaint. And we learned the politics. Why we fought so that we would never forget when the fighting got ugly. I got a new name in that camp. A war name. You left your born name at home to protect your family because if the enemy learned who you were, they would visit your village and your mother would pay for your rifle. From that day, I was not my mother's son. I was a comrade. Then they sent us back across the border into the war, into the operational areas of Rhodesia. We moved by night in small units, from village to village, carrying everything we owned on our backs, our lives measured in the length of the next stretch of dark. We could not have survived a week without the people. The povo, the ordinary villagers, they fed us from pots that had little in them. They hid us. The young ones, the Mujibars, ran ahead to warn us of soldiers. We were fish, and the people were the water. Cut us from them, and we died. I remember my first contact. The first time men shot at me to kill me. There is no training for the sound of it, the crack of rounds past your head, the shouting, your own body moving before your mind catches up. I fired back at muzzle flashes in the trees. I do not know if I hit anyone. I have never wanted to know. When it was over, one of us was gone. A boy from Gutu who had made us laugh the night before. We buried him quickly in a shallow grave with no marker, and we moved on before dark. There was no time to weep. Grief was a weight you could not carry and still run. The enemy did not only hunt us in the bush. Their jets came for the camps across the border where our brothers and sisters slept. I was near Chimoyo the day the planes came. What they did to unarmed young people that morning, I still see when I close my eyes. Thousands. Many of them not yet trained, not yet armed. War is not clean. I will not lie to you and make it a song. There were nights we were hard on villagers we suspected of talking to the soldiers. There were sellouts and the punishment was terrible. I saw things done in the name of the struggle that I have spent my life trying to understand. We were hungry more than we were fighting. Malaria shook us until our teeth rattled, our feet rotted in the rains. We ate wild fruit and whatever the people could spare. I watched strong comrades waste away from sickness in the bush, dying not from a bullet, but from the sheer cost of surviving. And yet we believed. That is the thing you must understand. Every hardship was a brick in a house we were building for our children. A country where a black man could stand on his own land and call it his. That belief kept us moving when nothing else could. We fought for years like that. Comrades came and comrades fell. I stopped counting the graves. I stopped learning the new recruits' faces too quickly because it hurt less when they did not come back. I became very good at a terrible thing. Then one day, the word came down the line. A ceasefire. Talks in a faraway place called Lancaster House. We did not believe it at first. We had learned not to believe in mercy. We gathered at the assembly points, still holding our rifles, waiting to be told the peace was a trick. But it was true. In 1980, they lowered one flag and raised another. Our flag. They read a new name over the radio. Zimbabwe. Grown men who had not wept over their own dead comrades sat down in the dust and wept then. We had won. Against everything, we had won. I went home. My mother did not know me at first. I had left a boy of 17 and come back a man made of wire and shadow, with a war name and eyes that would not settle. She held me and cried, and I felt nothing, and that frightened me more than any battle had. That is the part they do not put on the money. We won the country, but many of us never won ourselves back. Some comrades drank. Some could not sleep without the gun. Some sat at the beer hall telling the war over and over because it was the only place they still felt real. And I will be honest with you, because I am old now and I am done with pretending. The Zimbabwe we bled for is not the one we built. The children we fought to free grew up and jumped the same borders we once crossed with guns. Only now they cross them with empty stomachs, running the other way. Do I regret it? No, never that. We ended a great injustice with our own bodies, and that can never be taken from us. But I have learned that winning a war and building a country are two different battles, and the second one is longer, and we are still losing it. So when you sing the liberation songs, sing them. We earned them, but do not let them turn us into statues. We were frightened boys and girls who did an enormous thing, and who came home to a peace we did not know how to live in. Most of my comrades are gone now, to the war, to sickness, to old age, to the graves with no markers scattered across 2 countries. I am one of the last who remembers their real names, the ones behind the war names. When I go, those names go with me. That is why I am telling you, so that you know it was real, the hunger, the fear, the belief, the cost. If your grandfather or grandmother went to that bush, ask them before it is too late, and stay with me. There are more true stories of this land to tell, and I will tell them here.